You know, it's funny.
Yeah.
I saw you like a couple of weeks ago at the
Yeah,
Win.
yeah, at the Win,
So prior to that, a year before that, or actually anytime prior to that, any year before that, I had stayed at Excalibur, and I used to think like this. This was my poverty mindset. I was like, I only need the hotel to sleep and shower. Everything else is nice. I could do it nice outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was my mindset. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't know I had an American Express business card, but I didn't know like what points were or nothing like that. Oh. And something popped up and said, hey, you could stay at the Win and you could use your points. And I told my girl, I was like, let's go try it. Let's see what it is. Because I've always had clients stay there. And when I went there, I was like, I can never stay anywhere else ever again.
Yeah.
Just the people. I mean, I bumped into you. I had one of my clients, Sebastian Maniscalco, that was there. They invited us to go see him at a show.
Yeah.
I mean, just all this stuff. And it was just like, it just literally changed the way I looked at everything. The room service, the restaurants, the environment, and just seeing you there. And I was just like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
This is where I'm supposed to be. And then like, since then, I've been there like 6 times. And it's like, but it was that moment of being scared of not taking that leap and thinking, oh, you know, it's expensive, or how much is it every night, and things like that. And it's just that leap of uncomfortness just takes you to the next level. Like you said, it opens up to the next and being able to, because, you know, there's certain things that I still haven't done, like first class or like anything like that on a plane. And I'm just
you got to do that one.
I know, that's next on my list.
I just took my entire family on a trip to Colombia. We had the whole first class. We were all in beds. Like once you do that, you ain't going back.
That's what I heard. That's what I keep hearing. So, you know, I hearing your story right now, I'm just like, it brings like ease at my decisions and the risk that I take, because that's what it's about.
But now that you're staying there at the Win, you're like, wait a minute, I could afford this. And it eliminates the fear, right? And it makes you work harder.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, damn, okay, this is why I work hard, right? Yeah. But if you don't ever experience it, you'll never believe it, because you can only believe something in your heart if you experience it. If you don't experience it, you don't really believe it. You can talk about it all you want. Until you experience it is when you believe it. So, but once you do it, you're like, all right, this is where I belong, and it makes you work harder. Right? But if you don't do those kind of things, you become a little lazy, because what happens is when you don't touch the dream, you're never going to get excited about getting off your butt to go make something happen, right? But when you touch the dream, you're like, okay, this is why I need to go to work. This is why I'm not going to play video games for 4 hours. Like, I need to get back there, you know? But again, every time you do it, it unlocks this new level of belief.
Do you think people struggle that leap of like really taking in and doing that dinner or doing that?
Yeah, people just, you know, unfortunately, they don't want to go. The only way you grow, everybody says this, right? But it's true, is you have to be uncomfortable. Like, I remember when I first got my Mercedes at 21 years old, I remember thinking to myself, man, I was a little scared. I'm like, I'm going to show up to this Mercedes dealer. They're going to laugh at me, because they're going to say, what the hell are you doing here? You know, back then, Mercedes were a huge deal, because Tupac was always rapping about them.
Right.
And everybody had an SL 500. So I'm like, man, that's what I want. And I remember thinking to myself, man, they're going to laugh me out of this freaking dealership. And it was scary. But I still showed up.
Yeah.
But it was, and then when I showed up, they treated me pretty well. And then once I drove it, I'm like, oh, crap, this is cool, right? And then I find out that, you know, they had a 0 down special with, like, my credit score at that point was like 700, so I had some credit going for myself. And my payment on that car was only $770. I'm like, $770? That's nothing. It was lease, right?
Yeah.
And I took it, but I would have never even known that if I wouldn't have ever gone to the dealership to figure it out. And then once I did that, I was like, okay, this is pretty attainable. See, what causes you to take action is your ability to think you can get a result. To the degree that you think you're going to get a result, you'll take massive action, right? But if you never go and try to figure out what it would take to get it, you'll never know if it's attainable. And if it's not attainable, you won't want to work. But what happens is it's almost like when you go and find out what's it gonna take. You reverse. My whole life has been about reverse engineering, right? You know, I'm gonna buy this house at X amount. You reverse engineer it. Okay, well, find out how much is it gonna take of a down payment. Well, if you don't even go try it, you won't even know that you can get a house with 3% down if you're, you know, a first-time buyer, right? But when you realize, oh shoot, it's only 3% down. That's what happened to me at 21 years old. I'm like, huh. I could get a house for, obviously this is back in 99, right? But my point is, I was like, all I need is 12 grand? So when I was like, oh, I need 12 grand, so then I broke it down to the ridiculous. I said, okay, let me break this down to the ridiculous, 3 grand, 12 grand. My bills are $1,000 a week. I give another 1,000 for IRS, another 1,000 for IRS, another 1,000 for my savings. I need to make 3 grand, 1,000 for my bills, 1,000 for IRS and savings, and 1,000 for my mom's house that I told her in 90 days I would buy it. I said, Mom, this house will be yours in 90 days. So then once I knew I needed to make 3 grand a week, then I knew, okay, I need to go sell 8 to 10 sales a week, no matter what. And then it was so attainable that it caused me to take action. Because I'm like, 12 grand a week, that's simple. Like 3 grand a week, like that's pretty simple. And then I found out that house that I bought was only gonna be $1,400 a month. And I'm like, I make that in 1 day. And then I got 29 more days to save, right? But if I would have never gone to the house and like checked it out and took action before I had what I needed, I would have never known that. Because everybody was like, oh, the only way you can get a house is if you have a college degree. You know, back then, there wasn't all like social media that we have today that allows you to like see things, right? Like back then, you just went by what your friends told you, right?